Okay, so we're about to apply the foil paper.
Absolutely.
Have we already talked about the paper? It has some interesting properties, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's perforated.
Yes.
And it's also reflective.
And it's lined with paper, so it makes it a lot easier. We found the easiest way to do it is to actually roll up the paper. So we just roll it right up, and then Brett will sort of lift it up, and I just hold it.
Yeah.
We do need a little bit of an overlap, probably about 1 centimetre.
How about
Yeah, I think that's too much of an overlap.
How about that?
Move it a bit, because when I'm dropping it, I've got like nearly 2 centimetres. I'm not sure.
Okay.
That seems like a lot. Yeah, move it again, though. Move it towards you.
Okay.
A bit more. A bit more. Yeah, actually, I think for some reason when it goes down, the wall must not be quite right. Once it's done, we may have a bit more of an overlap at the bottom, but walls are never really straight.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to lift it up again. Just a little bit.
Yeah, the best way is to keep it free and then work your way down. It actually doesn't really matter if it crinkles, because there's going to be a nice big thick piece of paper right on top of it. So don't worry too much about it being perfect.
Well, you can see Brett's just working through the bubbles with just a cloth, just gradually. You can always lift it up if there's a crinkle and just work your way down. I think that could even pull towards me a little bit. If you wanted to remove that little crinkle.
Yeah.
I think you needed to just that thing. It is very hard to completely get rid of them.
Yeah. I think the problem is because it's not quite vertical.
Yeah.
That's because this isn't quite vertical.
Yeah.
But it is going on. It's very, very pliable as well, so even if you do have a crinkle, you can actually just force it down.
And the perforations are very good because it means the adhesive will come through. So it's not actually stuck behind the aluminium paper. And it allows it to breathe. That's what the people who sold papers, and some are very expensive, but we thought for the price, that was very reasonable. So yeah, we thought it was the best one to use.
Okay, as you can see, things have moved on a little bit. We put on several pieces of foil paper. You probably noticed that it's easy, it lies very easily, but one of the reasons for that is the paper is very thin. If you've ever put paper on the wall before, you'll know thin paper can tear easily. So we have a couple of recommendations, one of which is when you put the paper on, we've already mentioned paste the wall and then add the paper afterwards. The same thing you need to know is not, with this kind of paper, is not to press it down too hard, because it will actually stretch. And then you'll have problems because as you work the paper in, it will form little crinkles, which is probably not a problem really, because you're going to put some more paper on after. And there were some other problems we encountered, weren't there?
Well, one of the problems we had was little tears, sometimes because the paper is quite thin. So there'll be small tears, but not to worry about that, because we do have, you probably can't see it there, but there was a little tear right at the top. So we just cut a small square piece of aluminium paper, something left over. So
okay.
Now, yeah, go.
So we're going to apply some paste. This is the easiest part.
Yeah.
Did we mention the paste? I think we have one.
Yeah, we did talk about the paste. So yeah, literally it takes 2 seconds to just apply it. And ready to put the Wi-Fi blocking paper on top, and that's really very simple to go on.
It's a medium heavy paper, so it's not like, say, Anaglepto, which is very heavy to hang, but it's heavy enough that it doesn't bubble very easily, and it's easy to work, to actually move around. So this is really the easy stage.
So we're going to just literally drop the roll. It's handy if 2 people are doing this. So just measure up that right overlap.
Yeah.
Not too much though. Yeah. And then just let it hang down. That's it. You just leave it there, and you, with a rag, you carefully work your way down.
Yeah, this is very, very workable. Very few bubbles and no crinkles. So this is like a joy to work with compared with the aluminium paper.
So once it sticks to the top, then it's just literally working your way down.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's just hanging on itself. The only thing is, what did we say?
Like all paper, it just needs to be lightly worked initially, and then once the paper's in place, you can actually press a bit harder. Make sure you have a good contact and work out any small bubbles. But this is actually working very well.
With the Wi-Fi blocking paper being a little bit thicker, you really need to put a more generous amount of the adhesive. For the aluminium paper, you need a very thin layer. But for this, just a little bit more, just to make sure it actually does stick really well onto the aluminium paper. And you can put on the second roll, in no time at all.